Hi, everybody. Michelangelo Badio again for another live stream. We have a really cool one this week. Not that all the other weeks aren't cool, but I want to jam. I'm calling this MAB Jams. Because I love to talk, as you guys know, and then even live, it's part of my show. I'm an animated speaker. They're going to be talking too. But I wanted to show, a little bit of just, my playing live so you can see what I do up close. You can't edit this. This is live. And so you see how similar it is to when I play in the studio or when you see me in concert. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about before I actually start the songs. One, I'm using this, it's called the ES Hybrid. This has become one of my favorite guitars ever that I've had the pleasure of helping design, especially. I do a lot of session work. If you've seen, I've got a lot of videos that just came out recently, and, I'm always doing solos for other people and just getting hired to do studio work. I've never had a guitar that I've used more that's so versatile as this. This has 23 distinct different pickup combinations. And we're releasing a new video tomorrow where I use all 23 pickup combinations in one song. And what I did, and the song is, if people know my discography, part of the Jam Game, part of then I do part of Outside Inside and part of Peace. And so what I did was I used my material and I showed all these different sounds. It is really an absolutely amazing guitar, and you're going to hear me play it. And so that's one thing. This ES Hybrid is special. No guitarist I know that does recording or plays live has one guitar. If you want a guitar in your arsenal that is the most versatile guitar, if you want that Strat single coil sound, you can get it perfectly. If you want to add the girth of the humbucker with the brightness of those single coils, this is the only guitar that can do it. It is a true hybrid of single coils and humbuckers. And I'm telling you, I practice what I preach. You know that. I practice what I teach. You know this too. I don't say this lightly. I have found that I use this guitar so much in sessions. Even when I did the song Hurt, I use the hybrid, and because there are just so many great sounds and they're so recordable. I mean, this is a record quality guitar. The intonation's great. The looks of it are really cool. And I'm going to play several songs for you using this one. I have this tuned to A440 because I've been doing a lot of session work in concert pitch, and I have this down to my usual half step. So I also want to say, do some shout outs. Let's see. I see Alexis. Hi, Alexis. How are you? Tanya, Denny, Brett. I saw Nick earlier. Hello, Nick. Nick's a really close friend. Roxana, Sasha, Tony, Cody, Colin. So the list goes on and on. We have a lot of people online. Great. And then one last thing before I start to play. The company that I work with my instructional programs, Metal Method, has a 2-day sale. If you go into the where the description of this live stream, and it's also being live streamed on YouTube too, simultaneously. It's a multi-stream. So we've been doing that for a while now. So what you see on Facebook, you can see it again when it's done, and it's being live to YouTube as well at the same time. But Metal Method has a 2-day sale on a Speed Kills bundle, and then you can get Beyond Speed Kills. And here's my thinking to that. The Speed Kills bundle, we kill you. Speed Kills and Beyond, we kill you again. You get death twice for a low price. And so all you have to do is go to the link. We provide that, and you can go right there and order it. But there's a 2-day sale, so it ends tomorrow night. Speed Kills works. I see this all the time. And especially, there's so many guitar teachers out there. And I love it. I think any person that wants to teach, and, if you've got a curriculum and you know what you're doing, I think why not? But when people say, oh, you don't want to do this exercise, I saw somebody criticizing this the other day. You don't want to do that. And so then he says, do you want to do this exercise? Now, the exercise he did, in all fairness, was really cool. But when he did this, his technique was so bad. I'm thinking, dude, in 5 years, you're going to Joey's going to be, see, I showed you. You should have shut up and listened to what Angelo does. He knows what he's talking about. Right. And so the point is this. It's BS to say, oh, these old speed exercises. That's like saying Hanon, the one of the tools that virtuoso pianists use, is outdated. It's not. It never will be outdated because human hands have to change a whole heck of a lot in order for these to be outdated, and they haven't. We expect the Olympics to break records, but Paganini could blow your face off if he came from the 1700s to today. If Johann Sebastian Bach, if we could clone him and he could come back today, he would blow our minds just as much today as in the past. Music has kind of a different thing. When McCartney sang Oh Darling on Abbey Road, when you told me, it's as powerful now, 50 years later, as it was when he recorded it. The power of music is that good is always good. Great is always great. Suck always sucks. But hey, that's another story. Now, I'm going to play one of my songs. Now, I can't do any covers because there's mechanical royalty things, and I don't want to get the videos flagged. So this is my song called Prague. And I originally wrote it, believe it or not, to replace No Boundaries. Because No Boundaries in 4 minutes had all this flash. I got tired of playing it. I didn't realize it'd become a famous song, and I was playing it every show. I'm like, I'm getting tired. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I want to do something different. And so I wrote Prague to replace No Boundaries. It never really replaced it. I don't think you can replace a well-known song with another well-known song. I just had to add it to the discography. So anyway, here is my song called Prague. And my thought process, Prague means like progressive music. And the thing that I tried to do, it's another learning tool where I'm using different modes. There's a lot of key changes in this song, but here's the cool thing. The modes are different, but the notes are a lot the same. See, it's again, what is your tonal center? So I use a lot of different keys, but I use modes that keep the same exact notes. It's just where you start and end. Okay, let's go. Somebody asked if I use a wah. I like to. I'm going to bring a wah on tour. I'm actually going on a big European tour. The first show is the 24th of March, and we end in Poland in the beginning of May. There's going to be about, right now, we have 25 or so shows posted, closer to 30, I'm not sure exactly, but we will have around 40 shows when it's all done. Somebody said you're in the clinic. Yeah, that was really fun. I love playing that song Prague. It's really, it's aggressive. But let me just show you a couple of the sounds of this guitar. See, what I like to do, it's very simple to operate. This top toggle switch, single coil, right here, both, that means all 5 pickups, humbuckers. So you have the single coils on the top, the humbuckers on the bottom, and the middle position is both. So then what you have is you have 2 pickup selectors. One is a 5 pickup selector. It's not out of phase. When you put that in that 2nd and 4th position, it's technically not out of phase, although people say that. When you have a 5 position switch with 3 pickups, it's neck, neck middle, middle, middle bridge, bridge. It's not out of phase. And so we have that. This is a true single coil guitar. But what makes this so ridiculously cool is that you can add the girth of the humbucker. See, when I do this, it's just the 3 position switch like a normal humbucker. You have the neck, both, bridge. Super easy. It looks like a lot, but it really isn't. But listen to these tones. Somebody said Machine Than Man is an awesome album, and my favorite song is Laser Guided. I'm playing Laser Guided with a band on tour. Okay, so we're playing songs from the new album. But listen, so you have single coil. Now here's that middle. You have neck and middle. That then you have the middle position. Then you have the middle bridge. And then you have that really, really killer. You have the bridge sound, single go. Now here's the cool thing. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add, listen, that's all single coil. You heard all, that is as Strat can get. It's all the perfect, really cool Strat sound. Now watch. Do you hear the girth that's added? What I did is I added the neck position of the humbucker with this underneath. Yeah, somebody said classic 50s rock. I don't know as much 50s, but... Now, if I want a single, just use single, watch. Versus this. So you get the twang, but you get the girth. Yeah, so it's a, or you get, I love that. All right. And then when you put it into overdrive, it's death. Now here's what I like to do. I like to keep it in the middle position. So I use the 5-position toggle switch of the original single coils. Sorry. And then what I do is I have the girth of the humbucker underneath it, especially for overdrive. Because watch. Somebody asked if I can use the neck humbucker and the single coil bridge. Yes, watch. This is it right here. So you have the thickness of the humbucker with, somebody said, so you have all these together. Does it get in the way of picking? No, not at all, because your picking hand's here. All these are here. This is really where a single cutaway, like a twin humbucker pickup would be. And this is where, like, other pickup selectors would be. So they're in normal position, so no. But watch. I like to keep the humbucker in the bridge, and then I can switch between single coils. It almost gets an Eric Johnson sound. So you can hear that twanginess of the single coil, that kind of Yngwie thing, but you get the girth of the humbucker. No guitar on this planet can do this. This is a true hybrid guitar, and I really love it. Okay, Adam, we have one more, the next song, which is? Rainforest. Okay, I'm going to switch guitars here. Now, hang on one second. This is the, obviously the red sparkle version. Now I have this one that is tuned down a half step. Same exact pickup configuration, same everything. Okay. And see what I like to do, I'm going to play my song called Rainforest. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I had some people tell me this. Now, I've heard this a little bit over the years, but some people on one of the social medias really started flaming me about something, where they said that Rainforest sounds like Who's Crying Now from Journey. Now, I'm going to just stop this and play Speed Kills. I'm not going to play that. Would I play a scalp neck? We don't scalp necks here, bro. But I play scalp. Why not? But I'm going to just show you something. First of all, I tuned out a half step. So Rainforest is technically in the key of A flat. Now, it is A flat natural minor. The Journey song, but let's keep them in the same. Like one love eats the fire, one now burns desire, one now who's crying now. Okay, so what do you have here? You have A minor going to F, going to D minor, going to G. Okay, because I got some people, I actually had to block them. They were like going, "You're ripping off Journey, dude, la la la." And I'm like, are you guys out of your, you want to hear something ripped off? What? We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joy. That's taking a melody, okay? And I love Twisted Sister. They blatantly stole that from a Christmas song. We're not gonna take it because it ain't Christmas yet. We can only take it around Christmas. And so that is note for note exact. I'm going to just show you how different Who's Crying Now, because I had not a bunch, but enough where I said, what are you guys, insane? Can't you hear? And so, because see, there's a thing in music in the Baroque era called unity of affection, AFF. Now, here's what it meant. In the Baroque era, and I've said this before, the unity of the feeling. Affection is the feeling you get from a piece of music. What I think people hear is that Rainforest is kind of a sad song. I mean, it is sad in a way because I love Brazil. I have a 10-year visa there, but I've also seen a lot of destruction of the rainforest. Just, we're humans. We like to, you got to live somewhere, as my dad used to say. But it's kind of a sad, it evokes an emotion of almost sadness sometimes. And so does Who's Crying Now. So I think people get confused with the affection, the feeling versus the actual musical, theoretical part. Now watch, here. So you go, on now, deep is the fire. Down now, 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 now. Down now, down, crying now. Beautiful. Here's Rainforest. Sorry, I gotta do that again. I'm laughing. Okay, Joey pissed me off. Okay. Joey. Okay, so what do you have? One song has D minor, mine doesn't. His has E minor. But the feeling, and when I go like, see, Neil Schoen's solo goes like. See, my note pivots I go low to high. He goes high to low. So again, you might say, well, it sounds kind of similar, but if you actually put up a graph and you showed, it's very, very, very different. So I think, and I just wanted to clarify this. So if somebody ever says that and you have seen this, comment on it, because I didn't even think of that song. I was thinking about how do I make a musical interpretation of what I've seen of the rainforest. So now, no more talking. Let's just play Rainforest and shut up. Okay, here we go. Okay, thank you. Now, that was fun. I picture myself on stage with all this. And I will be on tour very soon, the first tour in 2 years. I've had three other major tours canceled because of COVID. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head. I mean, it was well over close to 150 shows I had to cancel. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I do miss touring. Somebody said that, mentioned this. Now, one of the things that I want to mention as well is, like I said, I do a lot of recording with other bands, and there's a really cool band called Sinful Betty. Betty is the lead singer. She's originally from Europe. Her and her husband are the main people in the band. And they enlisted Brian Tishy on drums, who's absolutely amazing. He's a world class, fantastic drummer, played with Whitesnake, Billy Idol, a lot of big bands. And we released a song called Westland. And we're releasing a song at a time, but it's going to be a whole album's worth when it's done. So we're 3 songs into it, starting the fourth. Westland is the third song, and it was filmed and edited by James Lomenzo. If you don't know that name, he plays with a fairly big band called Megadeth now. He's really a phenomenal bass player, really great guy, but he's also a great videographer and editor. And so if somebody, yeah, we're not talking about COVID. I see somebody's writing some like COVID stuff. I'm not into that. People think what they want. I'm here to play music, not comment on, politics, religion, or everything else. You just want to hear me play. So you got, whatever you want to write up there, it's all right with you. But it's not going to elicit like this major response from me. It's just people think what they think, and you know what I think? I think, Joey, I want to shred. I want to just play, 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 play. Robert, he's ready to rock. Now, what we have here is, like I said, with Westland, go check out this video, Sinful Betty. I'm on there, Brian Tishy. The song is great. She's a really great singer, a super high-end video production. Adam, who is going to be on the show next week, my former student, is now the video engineer here. He's been running these live streams and making sure everything runs great, with the multi-stream. But we put a green screen. I'm in the video part of my studio right now. We put a green screen across the wall and filmed it. And so the cool thing about technology today is, it's like CGI, like, when you see Spider-Man or something, and all these special effects. Well, they just put green screens behind it, and they can add whatever computer imaging they want. And so that's what we did. And it really turned out amazing. The lighting, you have to be very specific on the lighting. It's not easy to make a green screen work, or else you look like you're cut out, like somebody cut you out with a pair of scissors. So you've got to be just careful on that. Now, Adam, what's song 3 here? I have so many to choose. What's that? Oh. Okay, great. Yeah, now I want to play one of my songs. I have to keep it no covers here. I'm sorry, guys and girls. I just don't want to get, any kind of mechanical royalty issues or flagged for copyrights. So I can play my own songs. I wrote them, 15 albums worth of original music over the years, and not counting all the major label things that I've been on. So I've written hundreds of songs that have been published worldwide. This is a very special song to me that it's a lot of mixed meters. Like even Rainforest and No Boundaries, it's a very, I don't think just in terms of 4/4. I hear things like the main riff in Rainforest like this. That's 11 counts. So I wrote that as 11/4. Now there's other ways to write it. You could write 2 measures of 4, 1 measure of 3, as long as it comes out to 11, because there's only 2 types of rhythm and 2 types of counting in music. Duple, 1 or 2, or triple. 2 plus 2 is metal 4 minus metal 1, bro. So you've got duple meter, that's 2, or triple meter. 15, you can, whatever you want to do, using 2s and 3s to add up to that, it's really correct. what I learned in school is that when you assign a time signature to something, what you're not just it's not just a combination of twos and threes, but it's how does the phrase unwind? When does it sound like the phrase is complete? Like for example, you hear that don't down 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 down. It's 7/4. Now most people, you hear the phrase begin and end within 7 counts. Now somebody could write, no, it ain't 7/4, bro. It's like 4/4 and 3/4. They're not wrong, but I don't divide the riff in those like don't do 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 don't. Does that really sound like where it ends? Don't do 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 do. Then bum bum bum. So yeah, you can write it as 4/4 and 3/4, but it doesn't really sound 4/4 and 3/4, and that's the consideration when you write mixed meter passages. If you're going to actually notate it, what does the phrase sound like to you, and use those numbers to best illustrate that phrase. Okay, Hands Without Shadows is like way out there timing wise. That's why I like it. And the irony of it is I don't do a lot of this, which is why it was called Hands Without Shadows in the first place. But I wanted to make something really cool and musical. Now, again, I'm using the hybrid guitar. I'm in that middle position, so I've got the humbucker girth and I've got the single coil twang together. So, yeah, somebody wrote She Doesn't Live Here Anymore. I love that song. If people don't know what that song is, that I wrote a song. Sorry, I saw it up there, and I'm going to just digress. Kerry Conrad. Hello, Kerry. He's one of my lifelong friends. Watch. This is She Doesn't Live Here Anymore. I wrote this song when I was in my early 20s. It started. It's like mean. And then I'm now with. Now hear this, it's a very chromatic progression, but what did I do? I went, stop acting so sad. No lost cause, nothing to cry about. And so what I did is I made this really melodic. And so I had this thing going on. And then one of the lines that I wrote in the pre-chorus, like it goes, like you wait for the words that will never come. You're caught from behind, the work's just begun. You suddenly find what you had all along. Then I'm like, I know, she knows, the story's told. She doesn't live here anymore. Now it's an octave higher. I just don't feel like singing it like this. But I love this line. I went, you wait for the words that will never come, and you're caught from behind, and now your work's just begun. And then you suddenly find what you've had all along. Those I still think about that today because it was about my friend Mark's girlfriend that they broke up. And they used to live together, and my phrase is, she doesn't live here anymore. But it's not just real, it's metaphorically too. She doesn't live in his heart or his head anymore either. And it's gone. But I love these chords. Then see, it's really, really out there. And it was written, during the punk era, and I was really young. Anyway, so the idea was this in that song, that I wanted to write something, and the words, you wait for the words that will never come. How many times have you been in some kind of relationship, or even talked to your parents, or you talk to your kids, and you were expecting to hear something? You want to hear the words, like maybe you want them to apologize, but they never come. And you just wait for these words that will never come, and it really bothers you. So that's what it's about. Anyway, Hands Without Shadows. Here we go. Let's do it. That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Now, one last thing. I'm going to play one more song, and that will be it tonight. But I want you to know this that, I'm really here to help. And what you do on guitar, fundamentally, mixed with learning how to play songs, is going to give you the best method to be the best guitarist that you can be. And sorry, I've got a cough, and I'm not sick. I don't have COVID. I actually took a test, and I've just got a little bit of a cough. So I even took chest X-rays because I want to make sure I'm not so sick. And so, so I'm a little stuffy today. But so what? The show goes on. Does Joey care? I don't care, Angelo. Shut up. Let me just play guitar and everything will be okay. And so that's all I can say. Now, this hybrid guitar, there's nothing like it on the market. It just sounds beautiful. I mean, listen. And the overdrive sounds, you can hear that. Now, you can get this at sawtoothworld.com. We also have an app called Go DPS Music Live. If you sign up for the app, it's free. And free means free, not free for like a month and then you have to pay. You can get a discount on anything you purchase through that app. Now, this next version, the song, it's my interpretation of Hendrix. I'm not good at being anybody else but MAB. I've always aspired to be the best MAB I can. And when I do a tribute to someone, I don't try to copy them. Why? I mean, am I really going to play the solo to Hotel California better than they did it? I mean, it's one of the biggest songs of all time. So what I do when I do my versions is I do my own unique interpretation as a tribute to the artist, not to clone this artist or to, I'm not in a tribute band, I'm my own artist. I can tour on my own name. So it's like Steve Vai. If Steve Vai did a cover of Randy Rhoads, you would not expect Vai to try to copy Randy Rhoads. That doesn't mean he wouldn't play some of the same note passages, but Steve Vai sounds like Steve Vai, and that's what he's great at, and it's what he's best at. And I feel that's the same way with me. I never have felt I could play Randy Rhoads better than Randy Rhoads could play Randy Rhoads. So why should I even bother? I love Randy Rhoads, and if I do his music, it's my humble tribute to a great guitar player and a person that I want to reinterpret his music in my own way. Okay, so that's the thing. Now, this is the last track, right? Does it say all along there?
Hendrix Adjusted.
Yeah, Hendrix. Okay, this is my version of Hendrix. Is that Nick? Hey, Nick, how are you? Okay, see a lot of people online here. Let's rock. Thank you. I'm Michelangelo Badio. See you next week. Adam Turetsky, the guest star.